And we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another interview. I like to do a lot of these with people that I know, like, and respect about different products that are coming out. And we've got Bill Guthrie. Give a little wave, Bill.
Hey!
And we have Will. Help me out with the
It,
pronunciation of your last name.
it's like hey to a guy named Merle. Hey Merle.
Hey, Merle. Okay.
You got
All
it.
right.
Perfect.
Awesome. Awesome. So that's what we've got. Look, as far as this interview goes, got a lot of really cool stuff that we're going to be talking about. We're going to lead with Will because Bill's a little busy right now. Will and Bill. That's just
It's a match
right?
made in heaven, huh?
Right. All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this. For those of you who've seen most of my interviews, it's pretty straightforward. Just want to get more understanding of the new product that's coming out. So first of all, I want to know, Will, when is this coming out? Because I know it's coming out next week, right?
Yeah, Bill, help me out there.
Yeah, let me talk for a little bit, and then let's
Okay.
flip it around. I'm going to talk, and then I got to do something on my computer that's related to this discussion, so
Right.
I'm not ignoring you guys.
Mhm.
And then we'll let Will kind of take over and do
Sounds
We are
good.
launching Tuesday, February 18th at 11 a.m. Eastern time.
Right.
So I'm on Central time, so I'm always converting to my own, but that's 11 a.m. Eastern time on Tuesday the 18th.
Awesome.
Right. I did know that. I just wanted to make sure.
I just wake him up like 5 minutes before I turn the buttons on.
Hey, you got to go on. It's your thing.
Man,
No, go ahead, Bill.
yeah, I was just gonna say, Zane, thanks for having us. I mean, this is kind of fun, and I love I love being. There's a certain irony that we're discussing a Facebook deal over on Google Hangouts, and I think just extemporaneously thinking Facebook's missing a really awesome ability here. They want to keep us trapped inside of their platform, yet and they are thinking of themselves in various ways. I wish they would truly think about themselves as a communication platform as opposed to a news feed like Twitter or something like this. And I think they're missing the opportunity to keep us really more and more connected. And I love that. I think these hangouts are really awesome and fun. So thanks for having us.
Sure. No, it's great to have you guys here. I just wanted to say really quick about that. These interviews are meant to show how cool with everything Google is, right? Yeah, we can do interviews about all sorts of stuff. We don't mind. Go ahead and use the tool, right?
Absolutely.
So it's great to have you here, and you guys, Bill. I always know you as a good quality guy who brings good quality products to the marketplace. So, actually, I'm a little curious. Will, why don't you tell us a little bit about how the two of you got together on
Actually,
this product?
yeah, sure. Bill and I think we've known each other we've known who each other was for a couple of years now, and Bill did quite a bit in Facebook and doing pages and showing people how to do it, and I do a ton of paid traffic. So I think we hooked up basically on Facebook, and Bill was doing a lot of fan pages, and I was doing a lot of fan pages, and then we were doing training for people on how to create the fan pages and populate them with campaigns to get likes and get people on there and engaged. And I think just one day we were chatting, kind of out of the blue. I think we just messaged each other, and we just said we just started talking about there's got to be kind of a better way to do this, and I said, yeah, there is. I think there is, and so that's kind of how the product was born. We just decided that instead of building a fan page and putting a lot of money up front and hoping that we would be able to make some money off it, we decided, what I was doing is making money right away and then building the fan page if I made money. So
Okay.
I just switched it up a little bit from what everybody else was doing,
Mhm.
and it's working very, very well.
Yeah, Zane. Last year I really dedicated myself to Facebook. It's a direction that I think people are going. They want to learn about it, and so I started to really educate myself, and then in turn pour that information out into the marketplace. And what I got really, really good at was identifying hot ideas, building pages about it, pouring in content, and then pulling in thousands and thousands of fans for really cheap, right? I got it down to a science. And so I had students that were just killing it as it related to these ideas. Where I was missing the boat was in successfully being able to monetize those things. I mean, aggressive monetization of them. And I reached out to Will because I knew him as a moneymaker. So I knew Will as really one of the best guys that I knew of in the CPA market. And that was our first kind of, when I reached out and said, hey man, you're killing it in CPA over here, and I know that you buy a lot of traffic, and I know that you're doing all these things. What are you doing inside of Facebook? And this was 8 months ago, and he was like, I'm not really that, And then he got back to me a few months later. I was like, well, okay, that was a nice discussion. He got back to me a few months later, and he's like, hey, dude, I got to tell you, that conversation that we had really sparked something, and I started doing stuff, and I am killing it inside of Facebook now.
Wow.
And it was really awesome. So I was like, okay, all right, look, we got something. Let's figure this out. And so, because for me, the value in me understanding it and being able to teach it is to boil something down to a recipe, right? So the greatest meals on the planet that are fixed by the most renowned chefs of the world, they have a recipe, right? They're not just concocting shit out of thin air, man. They, you know what I mean? They know this much, and I do it in this way, and I have to take these steps. And that is what's critical to me. And that's what Will and I have been working on, is how do we systematize an idea? How do we take what he has intuitively got into his brain, that all of his experience is feeding into, so he just knows how to do stuff. How do we take that and put it into that kind of repeatable recipe, for students? And that's what we're going to be doing on Tuesday, and that's why I'm so excited.
That's awesome. No, and actually, I've been very much the same way. I never really look at it in recipe form. It's very much the same of just intuition. So having somebody else go, wait, that's really good. We should make something that's easier to follow than just trust your gut, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's great. So that's basically how you guys came together and met, and then and now that's more about basically like what this product is about. And I don't know. It sounds like you've got a really strong motivation for getting this out there. You guys are very passionate about it.
Well, again, I think that so often in online marketing, people they're kind of trying to buy this box, and whatever's inside of it will hopefully, be the answer to their prayers. Those boxes don't exist. When you open those boxes, they're filled with, packing popcorn.
And a wonk wonk.
Right. Whereas, things like Facebook, it evolves. Mm-hmm. Facebook itself, forget what we're trying to do. Facebook itself, it basically iterates itself every 3 months. That's why the newsfeed changes. That's why their advertising changes. That's why it looks different. That's everything. And so it's a challenge for people who really want to be involved with it, right? It's not something where you just go, well, I'll just buy this book and that'll be it until I quit. No. I mean, it is an evolution of education and tactics. And so what's so exciting to me right now in working with Will is that he's been able to bring a really fresh perspective into my mind, and he's got all these other outside experiences. Like his knowledge in the CPA market, it matters with what we're doing here and what we're teaching. Even though we're not teaching CPA marketing, right? But his experiences help to inform how you get people to take action, how you get them engaged. Because CPA guys, they're ninjas, man. Like, you know what I mean? So he's got all that knowledge. He's pouring it into this, which is making it so exciting for us, right? So he's bringing a whole fresh perspective to this that I couldn't have done by myself.
All right, interesting. So, okay, all right. So then let's let's kind of put Will on the spot for a minute,
Yeah,
then.
sure.
Is there just like one tip that you can give that will help our viewers right now that are watching live? Just something like if you're first starting out, what would you recommend to do first?
As far as Facebook goes,
Yeah.
okay. The one thing that I've seen, the one tip, well, I can give, it's kind of two, but people always quit about 2 feet from the finish line with any campaign they do on Facebook.
Right.
Always, always, always. I've seen it a million times. They launch one campaign, they set a budget of $10 or $20, and then they make a post saying, "Hey, I got 5 clicks. This hasn't converted. What's going on? This doesn't work. Facebook sucks. I'm never doing it again." And I'm like, no, 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 no. You have to like give it a real college try. Like you can't just do that. You have to actually
Right.
put a little bit of budget in it, give it some time, and I think time is one thing that nobody online wants to ever consider. They want things yesterday.
Yep.
So if they put up a campaign, they better refresh their screen and see 10,000 clicks and $5,000 in their bank account, or they're going to lose interest.
If not,
So
it's a scam, right?
yeah, it's a scam. This doesn't work. You guys don't know what you're doing. Nothing works. I don't know. I don't get it. It's just I've been doing online marketing since 2004, and I've seen this a million times. And even I did it when I started. Launch a campaign and then just quit. And if I went back through my campaigns now, which I actually have, and I actually gave them a real try with a real budget and real time frames, I think I could make any of them work. So even now, when I do what we're doing now on Facebook, 27% of my campaigns work. So if I just launch one, I'm rolling the dice there. I'm just basically getting lucky if it worked. So
Right.
I know that I have to launch at least 10 to get 3 successful ones. So that's the one tip I would give. Don't quit. Don't quit so close to the finish line, and actually give it some time to percolate and grow and work.
Absolutely.
And let me feed on that. The what's been really interesting for me in watching people move into Facebook and having and basically saying to them, look, you're going to have to spend some money. You have to spend some money. Like that's what Facebook wants you to do. So if you're going to play in their playground, you got to do it, right? You don't spend a lot of money. It's really small amounts relative to the internet at large. The idea of being able to test traffic for $25 is crazy cheap. Like, and if you don't have any outside experience, and you think, oh, 20, that's a lot of money. It is nothing compared to what other people test out in the real world of media buys and PPV and all this other kind of stuff, where you got to drop down 500, 1,000 just to even get your stuff seen. So to be able to come back and so what's been really awesome to me is that people are loosening up to this idea, and there are people who missed the AdWords wave, so they weren't around for Google Cash, right? And and the idea of media buying is terrifying for them. In Facebook, to their benefit, to their genius, they've made it so simple, right? Here, put a picture in there, write a headline, give us a little bit of money. Who do you want to see? Like they've made the whole process so simple. They've demystified it. They've taken all the fear out of it. So people who never would have ever bought traffic before are doing it here in Facebook, and that to me is incredibly exciting because guess what? That's why my students, they were flipping out with joy because they, for the first time ever, they were experiencing some success. They were seeing results. SEO is never going to work for them. Like all these things never work. They were suddenly able to go, hold on, you mean if I just put a little bit of money in, do what you say, I'm going to see results? And there's that gratification. People are like, oh my gosh, I have 500 new fans today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's right. It's wildly exciting for people. And so that was a great sound effect, by the way. You know what I mean?
It felt right. It felt right, yeah.
And whether they know it or not, they're becoming more sophisticated as marketers than 95% of the other people out there that are still looking for that stupid box, right? The fact that they're taking that action, the fact that they're learning how to test, and that's the biggest thing I think that Will's bringing to us, is his experience in testing. You know, of like being able to say, we're going to put multiple things out there, and then we're going to be able to see what's working, what isn't, what's making that work, how do we duplicate it. Sounds complex, but I mean, it's what's making him money. You know, it's what's making a lot of money. So those are efforts that I think are worth, you know, kind of going through and learning.
Oh, for sure, for sure. In fact, actually, your point actually leads me to my next question, which is this course, is it going to be easy to understand? I mean, like, I don't want to bring back that box analogy, but when you get the box and you open it up, I mean, can you open it up and go, oh, okay, I'm getting this?
Well, here's what we're doing, and this is, and you know, Will had, and this was a lot of what we discussed early on. Will's very comfortable doing video, right? So he'd actually prefer, I think, to probably just do videos. And my experience is that people want a PDF. They really do.
They do. They like it, yeah.
There's a perception of, oh, if it's got videos, it's more amazing and all this kind of stuff. And I don't disagree. There's tremendous value in the ability to learn via watching someone do something that's as close to you doing it yourself. So I think there's great value to it. But no, it's going to be incredibly simple, because what we're doing and what I'm forcing Will to do and what I'm forcing myself to do is to basically walk through this report as if I don't know anything, right? So, and basically say, step 1, step 2, you know, and have it really be this really clean process, and have that recipe be, you know, very available. And the nice thing, again, is that, and Will, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, this isn't hard stuff. It's just the order in which you do it, understanding why you are doing it, and also knowing what's going to come next. So I'm doing this, here's why I'm doing it, here's what I need to be expecting, so that I have something to balance again, you know what I'm saying? So that I can see the linear progression of what we're up to. You know, and that to me, that's why the report is so great. Because I'll tell you what, people, here's what they'll do. They'll buy the report, they'll go, wow, and they'll just skim the hell out of it. They'll look at the pictures or whatever. And then they'll go, okay, all right, now let's go back and read it, right? And then suddenly they get in. And that's why I personally prefer ebooks, because I can do it that way. I can kind of get a quick glance, figure out whether or not these guys are full of shit. Okay, now let's go back in. Now let's start to go step by step, and and go through it, it'll be really, really simple for people who've never done this before, or even people who've done it, and it's going to work for either case.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like, I've done a lot of training over the years, and one of the biggest issues people have is if you assume they know something and they don't know it, then they're going to get lost. So as long as you go in with that mindset that I'm going to assume you don't know anything, and then you give them every single step, so then if they did know something, no big deal. They can skim over that part.
There's having done so much, launched so many products, people often, or I say often, but it will come up, and people go, I already knew that. Well, and it got me thinking. I was like, it's interesting how we don't have only one university in the world. That we have thousands of universities, and we don't just have one Civil War professor who's the only person teaching. We have thousands of people that are teaching the American Civil War. Now, why is that? I mean, for one thing, there's proximities and all this kind of, the logistical issue of it, but people teach differently. Even within one university, there could be 4 or 5 people within the history department that are teaching various things. And I think that it is good when you are reading something and there is some familiar components to it.
Right.
If you are familiar with something, then all you got to do is say, well, did I take that action or not? Am I just sitting here to entertain myself, or am I here to take action? Because if this guy says it and this guy says it and I'm not doing it, or I'm not achieving the results that these two guys, like product A and product B, that they're not, if they're both saying it, I sure as hell better be doing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think it's important for common language. We have to agree on our terms. We have to agree on a nomenclature to be able to, to be able to achieve a common goal. Do you like we use the word nomenclature there?
I love it. Now, speaking of universities and education and higher learning, of course.
I haven't had a lot of sleep, man. I'm getting ready for this launch. I'm so excited, and I've on about 7 cups of coffee.
Yeah. Hey, no, I totally understand. I've re-released. I mean, like you're talking about earlier, how Facebook evolves. My products have experienced the same thing. They just need to keep evolving and growing and moving forward. And I'm a fan of the of the videos myself more so than anything. But every single time in the past, it's always been, hey, could you give us some PDFs as well? So now when I make the videos, I write basically as a script / ebook. And I go, all right, well, if you want to know the same exact things I'm already saying in the video, but you want to read it, here you go, no problem. You know, and then it makes it easier for me to zero in and focus on the content. So I'm only giving like the very best, and I'm not wasting people's time. So I like. Even though it takes a little bit more work, I do like writing it and then also doing the video just because it's just more free form for me. But I also understand that mode that you're in right now today, which is just like, all right, it's the wheels are moving and this thing's gonna happen, and like, let's keep bringing the coffee, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that when you write stuff, I mean, I'm a writer. Right? I mean, I feel like I have the greatest job on the planet, because from the time I was a little kid, I said I want to be a writer. I never knew that what I was I thought I was gonna be writing like mystery novels. I had no idea that what I was gonna end up doing was being kind of a technical writer.
Yeah, expository writing.
You're right. But because of that, I like to approach it from the writing perspective, because Will's learning about Hangouts down there. Because for me, I think like in video, as awesome as it is, like, I don't know if you want to listen to me talk like this for 3 hours, like,
right, yeah.
wildly, like, go, let me show you this and everything, like. Whereas when you write and when you've got something like in a written form, you can go back and say, did I miss something? Whereas it's hard to do that in a video. You can be like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to slide right over that thing. That's why, ultimately, we'll end up offering, I think, both. So, for the people who want to read and for the people who really do enjoy the videos.
I think the videos are really good when you want to see an over-the-shoulder and you want to watch them do it. And the way we can do it now, we can share the screen and literally, like, I'm clicking here, I'm doing this. This is why I'm doing this. And I can go through, and I've probably done like hundreds of hours of videos that way. Yeah. And with this too, we're probably going to offer that as well, right? Where, okay, now here's the guide, read it, and now, oh, do you want to see this too? Okay, watch this. Here you go. Right. We'll show you exactly how to do it. So there's everybody learns differently, I think. So
yeah,
way.
All right, well, then I've only got a couple more questions for you guys. So the next one is, and we've touched on this a little bit more, but I guess more specific to the course. How long would you guys say that? I mean, if you actually grabbed the content, right, and you actually went through it and you started taking action, in order to stay motivated, how long would you say would typically take to start seeing results, positive results? These the results that you guys were talking about earlier.
Well, I can answer that. Immediate. That's the goal here. It's not to launch something and wait a while and then see what happens. It's the whole goal is to get immediate results with the page, and to figure out which page you actually want to pursue too. So there's no point in building a page if you're not going to make any money off it. So, and Bill and I were talking about this earlier too. The people that we get that actually, when I create a page, and the people that like it, those are buyers. Those aren't the random people from click farms in India who are clicking the like button. These are real people, like U.S. citizens, Canadian citizens, UK citizens, who actually bought something already related to what you like, or they're going to buy something. So it's far more valuable to build it this way than to go with the like campaign, because on Facebook, people love to click that like button and then they forget, or they never engage, or they never do anything with it. So this way, the whole point is to get immediate results, make money, know you're making money under that topic or niche or whatever you want to call it, and then to build it out long term. So we're getting immediate gains, and then we're adding in the long term aspect as well.
Yeah, and I mean, if I was trying to be specific, and I like while he's answering this, I was literally thinking about time. Like, this, I'm saying, how long would it take to read the report? How long? and I think, I think that if you took your time with the report, and by that I mean read it twice in an hour, right? And then started to take action from there, I think you could start to see stuff within 6 hours. Mm-hmm. Because, now granted, some of that is going to be contingent upon Facebook's ability to approve your ad, right? So, like,
skill level of exception.
So, I mean, but I think that you could, from saying, okay, this is how I do it, to doing it, to have something live and able to receive 6 hours.
I agree.
Excellent. All right. Excellent. All right. So actually, before I move on to the next one, getting down into the brass tacks. Actually, there's a question here from the live audience, and so the question is from Michael, and he asks, so is this going to show how to turn likes into capturing email addresses? I mean, does it have that kind of potential, or is it going a different direction?
Well, I think turning likes into email addresses is just a matter of having that. Well, there's lots of ways we can do it. We can do it with the tab on the page where we're giving away something in exchange for it. This standard list building that we can do. These are all things that can be done later. But I get that question too a lot about building the list and getting people on an email. Your page is your list. That's what people don't get. They think, well, it's a waste of time. If I post something, it only goes out to 18% of the people on there. Big deal. What's your open rate for an email?
Right. I was just going to say the same thing.
Like, give me a break here. The page is your list. So yeah, if you want to take that another step and actually physically get them on an email list, great. You can do that, but that's your list. So it's up to you. I mean, whatever people want to do. List building it's confusing, but I think you could actually call this list building with Facebook.
Okay.
That's not the name of the product, by the way.
No, sorry. Yeah.
And I would say that the thing about email, because I've experimented with it, and here was the thing for me when it came to putting people on an email list, and this is just my laziness. I mean, part of the reason why I like doing Facebook marketing is because it doesn't, it's not that hard. I don't have to put a lot of effort into it, right? I can kind of figure out something, put it into play. And I'm also able to communicate and build these pages in things that I know nothing about. But man, once I get someone on an email list, I have to kind of talk to them like they know, like I know something. And so I'm kind of like Will, like I don't really, look, if you know your topic and you want to build a list, building a list on Facebook to a targeted, page is not hard to do. It's really not hard to do. And if you're waiting for someone to come out with some amazing product that says, put your opt-in here, well, just do that, man. Don't wait for someone to tell you how to do it. Just do it. And if you want to communicate with them, via email, all the better, man. It's great targeted stuff. You don't have to pay for your, for more engagement. It's got all these benefits. But for a lot of the stuff that I'm involved in and the pages that I'm doing, what the hell am I going to do with them via email? I could run them on a quick little autoresponder, but that's just work for me. So I'd rather just load up my content and just entertain them, and engage them on the page.
Right. No, that's actually a really good point. That's what happened to me. I initially started doing these interviews a couple of years ago, and everyone asked me like, where's your list? And I'm like, I don't know. Like they always seem to come to the video first, and then they buy, and I just don't want to put the effort into writing the email. Like I always get people who are like, what about the list? I'm like, I don't use it. I don't use it like most marketers use it. And like anywhere that you feel comfortable speaking as an authority, that's where you should do it, and where you have the most reach and profound effect. So you can do email, and it has been proven to help conversions. And if you want to put that extra effort into it, by all means, go for it. But I will gladly admit, yes, I'm not that effective of an email marketer. I would actually much rather hand it over to somebody else and go, listen, I know this is proven, so you just write the stuff. I already know it. So
Right.
just there you go, right? All right. Well, no, Michael's saying, thank you very much for the insight. We've got another follow up, but it seems very similar because basically, yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but it's asking, is it better to send them to an external website or fan page with a like campaign because it will cost less if you keep them in Facebook? And it sounds like you guys already pretty much answered that, though, right? Like you don't want
Well,
them.
I'm gonna chime in and I'm gonna tee Will up on this one. It is true that if you keep your traffic inside of Facebook, that your costs are going to be less.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense, doesn't it? They don't want you to leave. They'll allow you to point a link wherever it goes, as long as it passes their terms and conditions. But they really would prefer you to do everything inside of a tab or on their page or, something like that. That is a question, and no offense to the person asking the question, that's a question that you should only concern yourself with if where you're sending them won't make you money. If I'm going to pay a lot more to put them over on a squeeze page and I'm just opting them into a list and I don't have a low price offer on the back, if I don't have a way to monetize that thing right there, then yeah, you should probably be concerned about whether or not that's a smart thing to do. If what you're doing is making an offer via your ad and it's converting, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like the difference between 8 cents and 16 cents is not a fundamentally huge deal at that point. What do you say about that, Will?
Yeah, I think what they're asking about keeping traffic within Facebook, right, Zane?
Yeah, versus
yes,
an
versus
external
pushing.
link.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So absolutely, you want to, in all my testing, keep it on Facebook. But there's a way that we're doing that. We're showing our ads are pointing to a post on Facebook, and then from the post it goes off.
Oh, hey, not bad.
Without giving too much away, that's kind of what we're doing. And on that post, right at the bottom, there's the ability to like, comment, and share. So that post now actually becomes our sales page because you get comments and you get shares.
Ah, okay.
Social proof, and you get friends tagging their friends in the post. And honestly, I make 40 to 50% of my sales just from people sharing the post.
Nice.
Which actually leads me to another issue, just real quick on Facebook. Nice. That's awesome. The
You
thing,
feel like a shock jock. I feel like I'm on the radio show. It's awesome.
with just getting kind of into something else on the conversion pixel, people always say it doesn't work with Facebook because it's not accurate. It doesn't keep accurate results, but it actually does. It keeps accurate results of who clicked the ad and who got a sale, like who converted to a sale. But what it doesn't track is when a post is shared and somebody buys from the share, it doesn't register as a conversion. So that's why people get confused. Yeah, there's a lot of confusion there. And that's why some people say don't use it, it doesn't work. Basically, those people they haven't used it enough to know what they're talking about, I think. So, but this is just a matter of stuff that I've learned through experimenting over the years, and there's always a reason for it. But yeah, keep your traffic on Facebook, but there's a way to keep it on and get it off at the same time, I guess.
Right.
All right. Well, no. Thank you for answering the questions, and of course the folks who are here live. Thank you for asking because it makes the interview that much more interactive and interesting. So, since we don't have any more questions from the live audience at the moment, I'm just going to keep moving forward. So, we've talked about a lot of really cool stuff, and you guys have given some amazing tips. I hope those of you who are watching are writing these down. But all this sounds really cool, and it sounds like it's going to be easy to implement and easy to get started right away. But now we get down to where the rubber meets the road and talking about brass tacks. So how much are we talking about as far as an investment for this content?
For the content? Like for the launch?
Yes.
Oh, I never sell my stuff for a lot of money. I've learned that most people ultimately they just want a good read. Unfortunately, there's not enough action takers out there, so I don't like to charge very much. What we're going to do is we have we're launching on Tuesday, and we essentially are having what equates to like a six-day kind of like a launch special, and then it's going to roll up. And then what we'll do, and this is kind of a fun thing. I like this stuff. I know that sometimes buyers hate it and they get irritated with me or whatever, but we're going to continue to escalate the price. So for me, what I like to do is to give my customers a really great deal. So the only way I can do that and also have it be as part of the launch is to have very, very special pricing. And I used to do it for an hour, and people would yell at me because it was like the middle of the night for them. And then I did it like six. And so I just I've tried to simplify some of this stuff for myself. And so we're going to have a really, really special pricing for the first 48 hours. And then it's going to start to go up from there. And it'll level itself out, I think, on Sunday. But it's going to be a dime sell. It's going to trickle. And then it's going to bump, and it's going to trickle. It's like a new dance, trickle and a bump, right? So that's how it's going to work. So anyone who's watching, I just set up, this is what I was doing over here. I thought, this could be helpful for people if they want, is that we have a squeeze page or an opt-in page or whatever you want to call it. But it's basically I just put up a little page where you can put your name and your email in there, and you'll go on a special list that I'll make. So if you're my customer, you're going to know about it. If you're Will's customer, right? If you're already on one of our lists, you're going to know about it. But if not, and you would like to get that early notification, we've got a little page set up for people.
Awesome.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, it sure does. So
it's going to start at less than $10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
so,
and from what
go from there.
There you go. Okay, so from what I'm understanding is that you want to get in this sooner than later, right? Because of the special offer overall, but then the special offer. That's why you guys are watching this interview now, so that when the time is right, you are all over it. And these guys they're offering a good product, and you really need to check it out. So the next question comes very product related after the cost. Everybody's got their own reasons, but everybody does like to know what the refund policy is like, or if you even have one, right? Some people don't even like to offer a refund policy.
No, I always offer a refund policy. I think that I think it makes sense, and when it's not a sweater that you're able to put on, and see if it fits, as you can't test drive and stuff like that. So I have a pretty basic refund policy, which is it's a 30-day policy. So within 30 days, if you're not satisfied with what you got, you can ask me, and I've got the support desk and ask for a refund. I have historically low refund rates. So when the industry average is something around 18% and I run it around 2%, I'm pretty pleased.
Hey, 2%.
Yeah. So, but there's people out there. It's not what they bargained for. They don't like the font that I use in the report.
That's the number one reason why I refund is I don't like the font.
is the readability.
This is not sans serif.
Exactly.
So, all right. Well, you know what? I do got to say I'm like 2%. Impressive. Nice. Impressive, right? All right. So with that said, of course, everybody who's watching these interviews also understands that when it comes to a particular product, sometimes there are other products that are offered later. Sometimes people like to keep it a surprise. I don't know. Is there some kind of additional offer, some extra training that people can look forward to once they get it, or is it just like nah, just come on in?
Well, I mean, if you've taken the time to watch this, I absolutely don't mind sharing our simple little sales funnel, right? So, and it really goes back to what we were discussing earlier. So there is not some radical thing that's going to happen and blow yourself, like, oh, you're going to trick me into a $5,000 consultation. That's not happening. We have two offers here. There's a front end, which is going to be the report, and then there's going to be the video versions of that stuff. So we already discussed it. Again, I like to do it that way because there's people who don't care about video, and I don't want to force them into it, or vice versa. So we have a really simple little offer where get the content right here in the form of a PDF. And also, Will is going to be walking you through in a step-by-step manner, so that you literally see him doing his business, and you get to see how everything works. So
Awesome.
to me, and we're not going to get, and we don't gouge on the offer. I mean, together it's an incredibly inexpensive investment. And to me, I always get both. Like when I get that offer, I like it that way. I like getting the book. And then I say, oh, good, and now there's supplemental video, awesome. Because what happens in those videos is that it's like we were saying a minute ago, is that you're like, once you're just kind of like, oh, I'm teaching them and I'm doing all this stuff, you're talking and stuff is going to come out that doesn't make the report. So there's always little nuggets, and that is just hard to teach in a PDF that we are able to show in a much simpler fashion on video. So that's the sales funnel.
Awesome. Okay. No, and I'm sure there's everybody appreciates that, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's one of the great reasons about why people buy products from you guys and says such a low refund rate. It's that, okay, this makes sense. It's good quality. Yeah. All right. Cool. You know, I'm getting a good feeling out of this instead of a hesitant feeling. I'm like, should I really get it? It's one of those situations that.
Well,
again, the reason why you're on this interview in the first place is because I like you. I've seen your work, and I really respect you guys in your marketing.
Thank you. I think there's too many guys out there when it comes to sales funnels. I think they sell the car and then they dangle the keys.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, you know. And I just don't personally like that. And I think that there's enough people that do that where there's a large enough percentage of the audience that gets they're worried. Like they get worried about a sales funnel because they think, oh my God, this is some, you know, disastrous trail of breadcrumbs that's going to lead me into a $5,000 commitment, and I don't even know if this damn thing works.
Yeah.
And I don't do that. I mean, I'm sure I could make a lot more money if I created these elaborate sales funnels and, but I don't like to do it.
Yeah, like we've all bought products, and you buy it, and then you get another one-time offer, and then another one-time offer, and then a downsell on the one you just said no to. And then a downsell on the first one you said no to, and then a third one, and then an exit pop, and you're like, really? I just want the product. Leave me alone. Like,
yeah.
God, that drives me nuts, so I'm not going to do that to other people.
Yeah, I don't like to do it.
Well, cool, good. Well, then, I mean, there's the long and short of it, folks. We do have one more question, and it's something that since I'm not as involved in Facebook, I have seen the topic come up quite a few times, and it really comes down to the scraping of UIDs from a custom audience, right? Like, where is there an official stand that Facebook has? Is there documentation that's like this is how it is, or is it one of those things that's constantly open to debate?
There's a lot of misinformation about this because somebody will scrape them, and then they'll say, "Well, I got my account banned because I use user IDs." Yeah, because you use them in a way that you're not allowed to use them, or say it's a closed group or a secret group, and you got the user IDs off it because you use some software, and there's software readily available that will do this. But just because the software is there, it doesn't mean you should do it. If you're doing it and following their rules, you're fine. If you're doing it in a way that they don't want you to do it, then you're going to get banned. You're going to get your account banned. It's simple. So I've read a lot of posts on a lot of marketing forums about people, and they're saying, "Oh yeah, I had this scraper that got me user IDs from this closed group, and I did a campaign, and I got my account banned." Yeah, you did, because you're not allowed to do that. If it's an open group, fine, you can do that. And I use custom audiences pretty much, well, on a lot of my campaigns I use them, and I've even written my own, not scrapers, but software that takes what Facebook gives you through their API. If they allow it on their API, basically you can use it. If they don't allow it on their API, you can't use it. So the software out there that's kind of, well, there's one that says it's like the dark side. Do it. Right. Don't go to the dark side.
Right.
You'll get banned.
I think that these kind of questions and these kind of ideas and really the software is just helping you to perform a tactic, right? So the software is just enabling a particular tactic. That tactic is, how do I really laser in on people? And I think that's often common sense rules the day Facebook is not aggressively monitoring the custom audience deal. Now, they may at some point. If you go to their terms and conditions, what they're basically saying is you have to have prior permission to be able to market to a custom audience. So even what Will said is incorrect. And you know what I mean? But they're not monitoring that. They're not policing it. So often what happens is people are using this software, they're extracting all this data, and then they're banging the hell out of that thing for crazy reasons. And they're outlandish offers. And so I think so much of the banning is coming probably as much from whatever they're trying to send them to than the fact that they're using the audience. But you have to remember that in Facebook's custom audience land, you go in there, there's the
by selling lists to other people that they're not allowed to sell.
right.
And it's basically Facebook saying, screw you, I'm making money off that, not you. You're not making money off my users. That's all it boils down to. So
Sure.
you did that, your account's gone. You don't sell our users to other people.
No, exactly. So I think you just I think again common sense makes. I mean, I am probably on 75 different custom audiences just for joint venture launches. I mean, how many product launches, and it's why? Because I'm part of a particular set of groups and I get, pulled into that. So my feed is constantly promote this product, buy this other product, get on my launch, and stuff like that. But those feel like relevant ads to that part of my life. And you know what I mean? So I think that, again, you want to be smart about that kind of stuff. You don't just sit there, pull out 50,000 people, drop them in a custom audience, and then throw them over just because they joined Weight Watchers, and then throw them over on some kind of crazy weight loss scam offer. Yeah. I mean, you want to get yourself banned? That's the way to do it. So I think that you need to be smart and sensible, and so more of it has to do not with the custom audience, but what the offer is, because that's where people are breaking most of I think most of Facebook's rules is in the stuff that they're trying to promote.
Yeah, no, I can see that. All right, well, you know what? Actually, someone's already starting to ask, like, what's the link to the squeeze page? We'll drop the link in the comments of the YouTube watch page, as well as the event page, depending on which one you're watching on. So, Bill, if you can drop the link into the group chat in this Hangout window, I will drop it into the appropriate places.
Oh, hold on, everybody.
Top window.
Okay, let me get fancy here.
Oh, I didn't even see that. That's cool.
So then as you're doing that, maybe we can follow it up with a question. Point this question at Will and go from there. So then the final thing basically is like, we've got some really good information here, guys. Again, go back and watch that discussion between these two guys about the rules with Facebook, because I've wondered the same thing. I mean, like, where are the lines? It all comes down to all the information that you're getting. If Facebook sees it as abusive, if you're, for all sorts of crazy reasons or whatever you're doing, it's just not a good idea. So as long as you are following Facebook's rules, you can definitely take advantage of this. So my last question is that this has been really great, guys. Before we go, is there anything else that you would like to add?
Well, I do. I just think that people are always looking for something to finally make some money online, and they're always searching for the shiny object, I say. But this is not a shiny object. This is something that I do daily. And one of the things that I've heard too is people who can't do teach, and that really bothers me so much because it's such baloney. I do this daily. I make really good money doing this, and I don't mind sharing it with other people because the marketplace is so enormous that I'm never going to run into the people that I'm teaching in the market. So they're not going to be eating my lunch. And that's something that's important for people to know, that you're getting training from somebody who does it daily and is not concerned with you copying them or trying to compete with them. It's just not going to happen. There's so many different topics and niches that people can get into, and there's how many billion people on Facebook that you can target. So it's a huge, huge market that I think everybody can benefit from, and finally be able to say to the friends and family that are calling them nuts for even trying to make money online, that here, check this out, I did it. And I think that's important.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we've got a lot of comments here coming in, basically just saying thank you for doing this interview. Thank you for answering the questions. Great answer. And someone's already said, Bill personally answered an email of mine once, so I'm definitely in already. So look at that, just because of Bill's awesome customer service.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Right?
That's wonderful.
You need a sound effect for that.
Oh, yeah. See, I got something. I got something. Right here, yeah. I got to flip back and forth, right? Because I'm the DJ, right? See, this is what it felt like more to me because it took so long.
Well, right. And I think we're probably wrapping it up. I'm gonna say this: Zane is the man, and I love this guy, and he's doing this without. There are no affiliate links that are being shared today, and he's doing this.
Oh crap! I forgot to put my.
I don't even know why you're doing this, right? Like, I mean, it's amazing that you are. I think that, what Zane is doing by hosting these kind of things is he's really becoming an evangelist of Hangouts, and it's awesome to be able to show guys like me and Will, who are constantly looking for new things to do, new ways to communicate, to be able to show us how awesome this is. So anyone who's watching this, make sure that you're following Zane. He's got some great stuff and some amazing training about Google Hangouts that I think is absolutely worth your time. And he's been so generous with me relative to getting, like, I feel like a newbie in this, and all I'm doing is sitting here talking. And so, dude, I appreciate your time, and it's really cool. This has been a lot of fun for me.
Awesome, thank you. No, again, it's because you guys make good products, and it's easy to do these interviews with you. But thank you very much for the compliment. And again, for those of you guys who are watching, the link is in the description below. If you're watching it on the YouTube page, if you're watching it on the event page, it would be just to the right or even just below us. So the link's in below. There's a squeeze page. If you're watching this after the product launches, it'll take you to the product page. And of course, feel free to ask any more questions, and if there's a question that I can't field myself because I'm not a Facebook guy, then I'll send you over to these guys or one of their customer service pages, and you guys can take it from there. So thanks so much for being here. Really looking forward to the product, and I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast since we don't really have any more questions. So thank you again, Bill, and thank you again, Will, and we'll see all of you guys in the next interview. Bye.
Bye.